Anana. Thank you so much for being willing to have this conversation with me. You know, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while about our relationship and the work that you've done in Oakland and how that's relevant to what our youth experience. But now that we're here in Ghana, this conversation has taken on a whole new turn and meaning, and we're still going to talk about all of that, but now we have a lot more to talk about. And so I'm hoping, could you just start with who are you, what do you do, and why are we here in Ghana today?
Well, let me start by saying I am just so proud of you. I don't know what to do. Our paths have crossed so many times. It's divine. And so for us to be in Ghana is auspicious. It is nobody but the Lord's doing. And I'm just so proud of you and so glad you said yes to coming. Yes. So I am the Transitional Age Youth Programming Director at East Oakland Youth Development Center. You knew me as the GED instructor, and I have been in this new position just for about a year, almost a year. And so I actually am the director over 3 of our programs. The Education Empowerment Program, which was formerly known as the GED program, and the Wellness Program, and the Job Management or Youth Employment Management Program. We are here in Ghana because of the call of God for clean water access in rural villages. And I've been doing fundraising for that since last year. And we are here because we wanted to see the first installations of the pumps for the boreholes in Bogatanga, which is Upper East Ghana.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that because this has been an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I said yes to. And I could have never imagined when you were my GED teacher all those years ago that we would be here today having these experiences, having these conversations. And I want to talk about how we met because it's important to where I want to have you share some of your wisdom. When we met, I was in foster care. I was going through a really traumatic time and bouncing from school to school, which is how I ended up at EOYDC. And I remember I always used to come to your class smelling like weed. And I always used to skip your class like every other day. And I was just all over the place. But the difference was that you always encouraged me to come back. And you always were flexible with me in terms of finding ways for me to get my work done, which eventually allowed me to share with you some of the things that were happening. And that helped me essentially graduate. And that was really important because unbeknownst to you and me, you were modeling for me how to show up in the future for the young people that I'll work with and how impactful it is to continue to show up for young people that are struggling. But also I feel like it's in alignment with a lot of the conversations we've been having during this trip around what's missing for this generation of young people around family structure and community support and why all those things are important. And I'm wondering if you could talk about, from your experience, what are some of the issues that affect youth specifically in Oakland, and how does that play a part in how they develop, how they show up in the world, and some of the outcomes they experience?
Yes. You know, this generation is having quite a challenge. I mean, each generation has their challenges, but this is the most disconnected generation that I have seen, where they are really pretty much making up their own rules, how they want to live their life. So they're not connected to Africa. They're not connected to family. They are islands unto themselves and making up their own rules as they go along, having no real reference point and grounding. So just as you spoke about community, they are having a difficult time knowing what that really means. What does that mean for them? What does that mean for Black people? So it's difficult for them to navigate in the world because of this disconnectedness. They're making it up as they go along, pretty much. And they're only talking with each other, and they don't know what they don't know. They have no idea what they don't know. So they're going off their experience, and that is limited in terms of their life skills, how to deal with life. Their toolkit is deficient. And so when you talk about then competing for employment, they fall way short because they don't realize that they need some basic skills, and they need some wraparound support because of all that's going on around them. They really need it, and they don't know how much they need it.
Right, absolutely. And that's why we see a lot of people that have my story, that have other stories, is because when you don't have those resources and that support, you seek it in ways that you need to do to survive, but ultimately are harmful. And we do have a lot of amazing work being done by ELYDC and a lot of other organizations, but what do you feel like can be done by communities and individuals to help create better outcomes for our young people?
Well, what East Oakland Youth Development Center has done through our new CEO, Selena Wilson, we have partnered and collaborated with other organizations that understand how important community is. The Roots Clinic, MOCA, many others, East Oakland Collective. We have different organizations pretty much in East Oakland that have come together. They've united to say, hey, we have what it takes together to help young people. We know they need health services. We know they need education. We know they need a structure of wellness holistically. So we've come together to have those talks and see how we might bring it to them. You know, if they sign up in East Oakland Youth Development Center, and we know we are not trying to compete with any other organization. If you have the health piece, then we will send them to you. If you have another piece, we will send them to you. Mental health, we will send them to you. So when we come together, we're stronger. And we finally realize that. There's no need to think that, oh, well, there's some grant money out there, we can't let you get it. No, we need to work together, because if we don't, it is our young people that don't get what they need, and those are our future adults. So what will happen, particularly to Black folks, if we keep this cycle going of not helping each other? I know in South Africa there is a term, Ubuntu, meaning I am because you are because I am. That means we are connected. We are connected. No matter if we think we are not, we are connected. So if you hurt, if you don't have what you need, then I don't have what I need. We are one. We truly are. Even across the water, that's a whole other story. But regarding Oakland, that's how we have begun to see ourselves in terms of nonprofit organizations to help youth.
Absolutely. Yeah, that collaboration piece is huge. And I see it's really successful when organizations, especially in like a close proximity, collaborate, because it's so much more accessible for the youth to access those different services, and they can do warm handoffs. And that is really helpful. And I'm wondering if you could speak to maybe something specifically that you've seen or that you've done that have been helpful in terms of dismantling a negative trajectory for a youth, specifically speaking to what providers as individuals can do, or just people that might have a young person in their life. What are some things that you've seen be helpful?
Well, we do know that, and we call it at the center, we call it the secret sauce. But really, it's not really a secret. It's encouragement. You have to let young people know that you are genuine. You genuinely care about them, care about their success, care about their well-being. It's not just about, oh, get school done and that's it. No, we want to see you successful. So we are willing to put in the time to see it all the way to the end, wherever that end may be. Because it's just like, when a parent says, okay, you're 18 now, go out there and live your life, you're an adult. That's foolishness.
Right.
They are 18. They're not necessarily an adult, meaning they have all the skills, all the tools, not just to survive, but do well and thrive. So we understand that. So listen, we're with you all the way until you tell us, no, leave me alone, don't bother me, lose my number. We're going to keep after you. We're going to keep after you. They have to have people that believe in them,
right,
and expect the best from them no matter what their circumstances.
Right.
See, that's the other thing. Because as you well know, young people are coming from all different backgrounds, living an adult life when they are young. And they don't know how to get out of it. So here we come, sort of like mothers and mentors and papas and grandpapas and all of that, and letting them know, look, I know you can do better. And you just need some help, and you will do better. And I know you might feel sorry for yourself and all of that, but we're going to keep helping you come on up. Because we know what's in you. You're a diamond in the rough, and we're going to help you dust off all that roughage and get to the real diamond that you are. So that's our secret sauce.
Can you talk about any tools or anything that you've seen be helpful specifically for service providers or just anybody that might have a young person that's struggling in their life, that's helped in kind of interrupting a negative trajectory? Like, for example, the relationship I've had with you, or anything more tangible that maybe people that are working with young people can apply in their own service delivery?
We know that young people need a lot of help. When they turn 18, that doesn't mean they're full-grown adults and they know what to do, how to do. It means they are 17 plus 1. Okay, so they still have so much to learn, and we help them with that. Life skills are so very important for any adult. So we know that young people will listen to their peers, and so we have something called cascading mentorship, whereby the people that were once young people, they come back and talk to people who are in their position now, to let them know, look where I've come. I was where you are. I didn't know what I was doing. I was making wrong choices with wrong people, and look at what I'm doing now. My life has totally turned around, and I am only 3 or 4 years older than you. You see, that does so much for the young person to know, wait a minute, she or he can do it. That means I can do it, because they're saying some of the things that I'm doing right now, foolish things. And it can turn around, because a lot of times young people and some adults can be in their head thinking the worst things. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, how am I going to do this? Oh, I have no help. What am I going to do? And they make all the wrong choices, thinking they don't have the help. Well, when they come in our doors, we do not turn them away at all. We've even gone to the courtroom with them. If they need an advocate there, someone that they can look out there and see that person is out there for me. You see, that is very important. Those visuals are very important. What's also very important is what they hear. They have to see you and know that you're genuine, and they have to hear you and know that you're genuine. They have to hear your tone, right? They know when it's love, true, genuine love. So they're listening for that, something they have not heard before. The tone, the timbre, the realness of it, so that they can latch on to that and know, okay, this person's not going to leave me hanging. So encouragement is so very important. Letting them know, I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe you can not only get from point A to point B, but you can go all the way up, because now you have someone alongside, arm in arm with you, more than one person, arm in arm with you, and we are here for your success.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think every organization, especially youth organizations, should have some kind of aspect of peer mentorship, because there's just so many layers of how that's helpful, from a peer just having that natural skill and ability to be relatable in a way that somebody older cannot, and have that person open up and share things in a way they wouldn't share with an older person. Yes. But also giving a young person the opportunity to see, like you said, that this person's made it to the next step, and it provides potential employment and skills opportunities to develop those. And then, I think that's really important.
And that's why those internships are so important, for them to actually be in that environment, see themselves in a different environment. They've been so used to seeing themselves in all the wrong places, all the wrong environments. So here they're given an opportunity to be in a totally different environment, something that makes them feel better about themselves, more confident and professional, so they can see themselves in a different light, right? Because when they look at themselves in the mirror, if they're not seeing something different, then they're going to keep doing what they're doing. So we introduced the internships and even apprenticeships, where they are getting a stipend. We introduce that to them and give them some authority.
Right.
You know, some skill sets that young people have in the world, they're transferable to the business world. And their way of organization, they may have been selling weed and drugs and everything else, but then they come over here and they're able to organize the accounting, all of that. They can apply those skills in a much more positive and productive way that'll put them on a different trajectory altogether.
Right. And even if they don't, I feel like that goes back to that commitment piece. If you're an organization, creating space for youth to make mistakes.
Yes.
And having, of course, a plan to follow up with that. But giving them that authority, because sometimes they're not going to learn without that experience, and they're not. This is a perfect opportunity for them to get that experience, mess up, so that they can learn. But a lot of times, I feel like organizations are scared or maybe limited financially to allow that authority that could really, be helpful in supporting that youth and making those mistakes. Along the lines of internship and creating those kind of opportunities, can you think of any specifically that you feel like have been helpful in providing healing for you?
Just the thought of having people care about you. It's so huge. I know of a young person who contacted me. She was not in my program, but she is still an alum of EOYDC. And she contacted me because she's now a realtor. And she wanted to introduce real estate and that industry to young people. And at the time when she was at EOYDC, she had done many different things. She was an intern. She was in our summer cultural enrichment program as a youth leader. She was our videographer. She wore different hats because we like to give them different experiences. But she remembered where she got the love. That's what I'm talking about. She remembered where she got the love. Because trust me when I say, young people will come in your office and a part of them will want you to feel sorry for them. Look at me. See what happened? So-and-so, my boyfriend just left me. My mother called me a female dog. This. And people who said they love them are doing these things to them. And so we have to be tough sometimes. But they respond well to it because we give them a plan of action. We don't just say, suck it up.
Right.
We say, okay, I think you need to think of this in a different way. Hurting people hurt people. So things that have happened in their lives, they don't know how to respond to you in a loving way. So think of it that way, that they need help too. So maybe you can get these skills that we're giving you and model them, and they will learn from you. And that's exactly what's been happening over time. I cannot tell you how many young people have come into my program and then they end up bringing their mother, their cousin, their friend, because of the love. Not because, you got prepared for taking that exam. No, they felt the love. They felt the support. They felt like this person will not leave me. They have a string of people that have left them. And now this person, this organization will not leave me.
Right. Yeah, that genuine love and support piece is vital for any program providing services to any population, but especially youth. And I've seen that be the most impactful in my work, is working with youth that are, selling drugs, coming out of jail, just these really horrible looking things to the outside world, and then they come in and they get vulnerable because they feel comfortable, they feel loved, and then healing happens. So that's absolutely critical for any organization or provider that's working with young people, to genuinely have that love and that commitment to support them through the process. And if you don't have that, then
You're in the wrong
right,
field.
exactly, because
really
that's going to potentially cause more harm.
Absolutely.
I want to come fast forward to now where we are today in Ghana and just talk about this trip that we're on that has been amazing. And I want to talk about it because it has so much to do with this conversation that we're having, this project that I'm working on. It has so much to do with creating opportunities for youth and people from the communities that we come from Oakland, from the Bay, as well as in Africa. And I'm hoping you can speak to what has this trip meant to you, what has happened on this trip, and just any insight that you can share from us being here.
This is the first time that I have brought a group, and it actually was not my intention to bring a group. At the same time, I remember when I first came to Ghana, first came to Africa in 2010, and that was also because God said, go to Ghana. How do you say no to God? Although I did try. But there was no getting out of it. Because I kept thinking, I don't know anybody in Ghana. I need some people to go with me. So I put out a video and I said, okay, I'm going to Ghana. Who's coming with me? That was in 2010. Not one person said anything. And I went to Ghana by myself. And I had the help of different pastors to host me in the parsonage and take me different places. And that was a good experience. It was sort of like a reconnaissance mission to see what actually was here. And then 5 years passed before I heard go to Ghana again. But that time that I heard it, I thought I could go back to all those relationships and connections that I'd made. But no, every one of those doors were shut. Why? Because they were traveling. It was in December. They had end of the year conferences and all of that. So I'm saying, Lord, you said go. I ended up meeting Bernard on Airbnb Ghana. And he took me to the Crocodile Pond. Paga is the name of the area. And as we were leaving the Crocodile Pond, there were two little boys that came to the pond to get water. See, when the Lord told me to go to Ghana, he didn't tell me why. He said, go. That's it. So I went. But when I saw those two little boys getting that filthy water out of a pond where crocodiles live, I knew immediately why I was in Ghana. And from that year, 2015, to this year, I've been going to Ghana every year. I've been raising money for not just clean water, but for education and orphanages, just to be a support to them. And so with this trip, this is the borehole project. That happened because a pastor that lived in California called me, and he said he got my number from a mutual friend of ours that told him that I go to Ghana regularly and maybe I could help. So he told me his brother is a pastor in Ghana. They were both Ghanaian. His brother was a pastor in Ghana, and he may need your help. In my mind, I'm thinking, how in the world can I help him? Who does he think I am? And so I called him anyway. And he said that he holds crusades in an area called Bogatanga, which is the Upper East area of Ghana. And I just simply asked him to make some videos of people who are in those rural village areas and ask them why is a borehole important to them. I had to first educate myself on what a borehole is, and that was important, right? To see what it looks like and all of that. But when he made those videos, some of the women got on the videos and said, you know, we have to walk so far, we have children, we have other things we need to do, and here we have to walk for water. We have no place in the village to get water. And one man said, he was one of the elders in the village, he said, if you can bring water to my village, I will renounce what I believe spiritually, and I will follow your God. Now that's huge. That is huge. What he is saying is what he was believing could not bring water to his village. Here we came with Jesus Christ, and we are bringing water to his village. And I tell you, I made a video for businesses to kind of adopt a village because we are expecting 25 boreholes to be installed this year by December. And so I made this video sort of like a clarion call for businesses, for them to understand, look, you're a global citizen. Help humanity. You see part of humanity suffering, help. Okay? And there was a couple that saw the video. They had already been planning to come to Ghana for the first time. They had already been planning to come the end of April. An hour later, they see my video, and they see that I'm coming the end of April. Well, they decided they wanted to do something impactful instead of just coming here for the high life. and they wanted to come. That's how the group got started. And then when you took me to dinner, and you immediately said, I have to go with you. It's really mind-blowing. It really is. You know, and my sister came, and then another missionary friend of mine decided she wanted to go. And each of them bought, including yourself, bought a borehole. I'm blown away.
Me too.
Blown away.
Me too. I can't even put into words. It's going to take me a while to process everything that's happened. But I want to talk about it because I want people to come to Ghana. I want people to understand what's going on in Ghana because when we went to Bogatonga and saw how people are living, even just when we first got off the plane, each day that I've been here kind of like tops the next in terms of seeing the level of how people are struggling and suffering. And when we went to those villages, it was just a very emotional experience to see how grateful they were to have clean water, to see that they just had not even been having access to clean water, had not been having access to anything. It was just huts
for generations.
Huts and dirt. And I don't think people in the States can really wrap their head around that kind of poverty. Like we might see it on TV, but it's so important for people to come out here and see what's going on and to also get involved. And I'm wondering if you can speak to how can people get involved and why should they?
The way people can get involved, there are several ways people can get involved. They can get involved by praying for the people of Bogatonga or the people in rural villages anywhere in Ghana. We are specifically called to Bogatonga, but they can pray for God to heal their land, pray for doors to open for them, for more support, more ways to support their families. They can pray. That's one way. And we should not discount prayer and think of it as a last-ditch effort. No, that's the first thing, because that's how God spoke to me, right? So that's number one. Another thing they can do, they can reach into their pockets and their hearts and give. Some people think that, $5, how could that help anybody? Well, my grandmother used to say a lot of littles make a lot. That is so true. My grandmother didn't even let us walk over a penny, okay? She would carry a handkerchief and have all these coins in them, and then would count them at some point and find out it's $10, you see. So a lot of littles do make a lot. So never, they should never think that their money is too small to help someone else, because it really does help. They can also help by spreading the word. So many people are on social media, and so many of those people are looking for an opportunity to help somebody. They are looking for it. It's so funny. I had someone tell me that she had some money she was saving. She had it under her bed. She was saving it for a trip that she was going to take, vacation trip she was going to take. And I ministered at my church, and I said something about, you don't know what somebody might have under their mattress or something. And all she could do was laugh, because she remembered the money she had saved for her trip. And guess what? The amount she had in there was the exact amount of the borehole. So she gave it and bought a borehole. You see, so we have to let God speak to people. We should not be trying to second guess them and think, oh, they don't have enough. Oh, I know they don't have much. They don't even have a bank account. So I won't even ask them. No, you don't know what God would say to them. And what you're doing is planting into the kingdom. The Word of God says to take care of the poor and the needy. He said, if you give to the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and He will repay. And so because of that, not just because of that, but you should be giving because of that. God is going to repay you, and you cannot be God-giving, right? I mean, look at all he's done for us on this trip. That's because of our heart to give. Our heart to give. So that's another way people can give. It's very important to spread the word. People can donate by, they have different skill sets, right? Some are artists, some are musicians. Hey, have a fundraiser, have a concert, sell one of your pieces of art, right? There's so many creative ways to give. Just never discount your ability to give, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing is too small when you really see that people have nothing.
Yes.
And I want to give people opportunity to donate, and I'm going to talk more about that. But there was also a lot of other things that happened. We were in Bogotá specifically when we went to the midwifery school, and I talked to the people that were working there around the tuition, which is only $800 a year. And some of our tuition in America is like $50,000 a year. And so I really want to give people that opportunity to be able to give. And I'm going to share some of those connections. So people want to get involved, they can. But along those lines of the tuition being so cheap and people can't pay it, people not having access to clean water, just the things that we see every day just being here. Can you speak to issues that are specific to people in this country, on this continent? What do you feel like people in the States should know that they don't, or that's important?
Their economy is unstable. Just since we've been here, the conversion rate of, what a dollar is equal to in Ghana cedis, it has changed a few times just since we've been here. So that speaks to the instability of the economy. And African Americans are moving here, retiring here. Some of them are starting businesses here. And from our perspective and what the economy is in the States and the money they have earned working in the States, the money that they use to open the business, to buy a house, and any of those things is just a drop in the bucket, right? Meaning you can do so much with so little. Like you said, the $800. Come on now. $800 for the whole year. That means someone could really pay for the full 3 years of the midwifery college. Exactly. So it's really about where our heart is and perspective. And like you said, people need to come, be on the ground, boots on the ground, and see with their own eyes, not a YouTube video. I mean, come here and really feel the people. The people are so grateful. When we saw that woman, that elder woman, get water in her village for the first time in her life, and she was 80 plus years old. Come on now. When you experience something like that, how can you not give? Right? How can you not give? So there's so many opportunities to give. The economy, like I said, it's unstable, but the people are so caring. We have been cared for so much. And it's not because they want something from us. It's just genuine love, genuine welcoming of you to their country. And some of them even said, welcome home, welcome back, because they are aware and understand what we've gone through, right? So they fully embrace the connection. I would also say that there is no foster care here. There is no adoption here. People take people into their home, children into their homes. I've seen strangers take children into their home to raise them because of whatever happened in the family, abuse, or someone died from some ailment. All of that happens constantly. So people take them in. I was when I was here in 2010, there was a church that owned a university, and so 4 days a week they would do a rotation of going to different areas to pay for the school fees. That's something else. The school fees. We're talking about people that are still in school, right? Young people that are in school. It's not free. The primary school is free, but high school, they have to pay for that. Right. Some of them, it's a boarding school. They have to pay for that. So everything costs, books, all that, everything costs where it's free to us. So that's something else. The infrastructure, plumbing. Can I say that again? Plumbing. The bad roads, pavement. There's just so much going on here that Ghanaians have to deal with that we don't have to think about. Mm-hmm. We don't even have to think about. So when we come here and we see how other people are living day to day to day and getting less than what we get, and still opening businesses, still thriving, still getting up in the morning and going for it, we should be ashamed, when we want to open our mouths to complaints. It changes you. Absolutely. When you come, especially your first time, it changes you. Mm-hmm. You have a new set of eyes, a new lens, a new mindset, and you start thinking, okay, let me shut up. Okay, so I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting ready for work and going in my car, and it's warm in my car. Yeah, mm-hmm. Come on now. Yeah. Did you have to go walk for water? Did you? Come on now. So we really have to get it together. I know we are blessed. We are blessed. I'm not denying that at all, but we also are spoiled. Yes. Because if we take the time to travel, we will see we are spoiled and we should be doing a lot more than what we're doing. Absolutely. Yeah, I have just told you throughout this whole trip, like stuff as simple as the roads, the water, yes, stuff like that. And even when we went to that village, they had nothing. And yes, you could just tell they would give us yes, whatever they did have. Easy. And that's something that people really need to experience. This is going to be a part of a project where I'm trying to bring people out here. Yes. In a way that's healing and that's helpful. And so I appreciate you now being a part of that and sharing your experience here and back home. It's been so great to share this experience with you and to have this conversation with you, and yes, I just appreciate it so much. Yes, so do I. So do I. I love you. I love you too.